Our next case is going to be Mr. Rickey Williams. Mr. Williams, if you would please give us your full name and DOC number.
Rickey Williams, 354230.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Let me explain the process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record. Then the board is going to conduct an interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will allow the participants who've indicated they wish to speak to have their input. Here speaking on your behalf in support, Mr. Kerry Myers with the Parole Project, Mr. Andrew Hunley with the Parole Project, Mr. Rickey Williams Jr., your son, will be speaking. Ms. Catherine Bryce, your sister, will be speaking, and your niece is present. I believe she'll be speaking, and her name is Annette Ware. Your attorney, Mr. Robert Lancaster, and Ms. Simone Smith with the LSU Law School will be representing you. At the end of that time, you'll make a brief statement before the board votes, and then Mr. Lancaster or Ms. Smith will close out for you. Do you understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
Let me pull up your computer. This is a matter of Rickey M Williams, date of birth, September the 4th of 1971. Mr. Williams is classified as a second felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of September the 4th, 2016, an adjusted good time date, January the 4th, 2025, the full term date of August the 2nd of 2025. He is currently serving a 30-year sentence, charges of aggravated battery, attempted armed robbery and purse snatching, and first-degree robbery and attempted armed robbery. All of those sentences happening on February the 8th of 1996. Mr. Williams, is that basically correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, your case has been assigned to Mr. Roche. He will begin our process. Would you please answer any questions he might have?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Williams.
Good morning.
Good. I'm going to address you as Rickey Williams Sr. in deference to your son, who's here on the Zoom. I have a presentation, Mr. Williams. And after the presentation, if any of the information is incorrect, you or your attorney can correct me, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, before us this morning, we have Rickey Williams Sr. He's currently 51 years old. He's been incarcerated for the last 27 years and 2 months, and he has served over 85% of his sentence. This is a rehearing. His last hearing was on January 10th, 2018, about 5 years ago. Is that correct, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
And you were denied by a vote of 2-1. The reasons for being denied was the victim was adamantly opposed, law enforcement opposition, and you had a poor supervision record. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
For the purposes of this hearing, I will concentrate on only the activity after last hearing. You're always going to have a bad supervision history. You're always going to have opposition from the victim and law enforcement. That will never change. But I will predicate my decision today on the activity after January of 2018, the date of your last hearing, okay?
Yes, sir.
Since the last hearing, you completed Living in Balance, parts 1 and 2, 100 hours pre-release. You participated in character education. Tell us what character education is.
Character education is dealing with your character, how you can conduct yourself around your peers, your supervisors and everything.
What did you get out of that program?
I got a lot out of it, sir. I learned how to, be able to communicate with the wardens, my supervisors. It's a lot, sir. I'm a dorm rep, and that's my job, to have to communicate with my staff.
Very good. I see where you attended both AA classes and NA classes. Tell me about those AA classes.
AANA classes helped me recognize my mistakes when I was using drugs and alcohol. I know my triggers, and I've tried to pinpoint my problem. And I think that by me serving in those classes, being in those classes, helped me control my addiction and learn to be a better person.
Question. When is the last time you used any illegal drug?
2004.
Thank you very much for being truthful. Okay, now, you also completed the Core 6 program. Tell me what about the Core 6 program.
I think that's dealing with my welding.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yes, sir. That's a welding course that we completed here at DCI. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry about that. But
Okay.
it's dealing with
Mr. Williams, sit back, relax, and let's have a conversation.
all right.
Okay. Nothing to be nervous about. Now, tell me about your welding certificate. How long was that take, and what certification do you have?
It was a 6-month course. I think I completed like the first base, but my eyesight was bad, so I had to get out of there. But I touched bases with it again. I know the basic of welding. I can't say that I finished, but I attempted, but my eyesight was bad.
Okay. Okay. And I see you also maintain your Pride membership for the last couple of years. How long have you been a Pride member?
Going on 2 years and something. I think it's 2 years. Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Williams, we gotta take the good with the bad. You've had 2 disciplinary write-ups since your last hearing. In August of 2019, there's a Class A write-up for a work offense. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
So, but your last Class B write-up was in June of 2019, and that was a 30D. What was that for?
That was receiving a phone number from a free person, and it was breaking the rules and regulations, and I accepted the blame for that, and I did my time for it.
Nothing really major. And I read the comments of your work supervisor, the comments of your security supervisor, and your classification officer. And every one of those said that you performed very well since your last write-up, which is almost 3 years ago.
Yes, sir.
and made some very complimentary remarks in your last institutional assessment. Mr. Williams has a low risk assessment. He has a moderate needs assessment. And the only category that he's going high is substance abuse. So let's talk about your drug and alcohol problem. When did you start using drugs and alcohol?
At the age of 15,
The age of 15. What was your drug of choice?
marijuana, cocaine.
And did you abuse alcohol at any time?
Yes, sir.
What was your alcohol of choice?
Liquor, beer, wine.
We know in 203 or 204 was the last time you used illegal drugs. When is the last time you partake in alcohol?
Been 27 years, sir.
That's what I wanted. So tell me what your sobriety plan is. How do you plan, once you're a free person, you can drink alcohol all you want? Of course, it's against the rules and regulations of your supervision, but you can drink alcohol. And if temptation or stress or depression hit you, you might go back up. Tell me what your sobriety plan is.
Sir, I plan to use the parole project for their help and support of helping me with the sobriety plan once I do get out. And once I finish the project, my plans are going to Arkansas, where my family is going to make sure that I stay sober. And they're going to help me find a place so I can go and keep myself sober, because it's not a one-day thing. This is for life. I can't come back to prison. If I touch alcohol or drugs again, I know where I'm coming. So I have to keep my sobriety. I have to maintain that. And with the help of my family and the support of this project, I'm gonna be all right.
Mr. Williams,
Yes, sir.
are you a drug addict?
Yes, sir.
How long will you be a drug addict?
For the rest of my life.
And how often do you have to attend meetings?
Every day, if I can.
Your initial transition plan is with the Louisiana Parole Project. Hopefully, it will take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks for you to get acclimated and get used to technology. And then your supervision will be transferred to the state of Arkansas, where you would live with your brother, and you plan to enroll in and get your CL.
Yes, sir.
So your opportunity for employment is in the area of commercial trucking.
Yes, sir.
Warren Bickham, do you have any comments, remarks, observations at this time?
Yes, sir. Mr. Roche, morning. I don't know if it was talked about, but Ricky is a trustee here. He's a trustee on Compound 4 over there, and his job is a dorm rep. And I'm not certain if y'all know what dorm rep is, but basically it's a system we have in place where we have an inmate that represents their dorm, and we have monthly meetings to come to us and explain what issues they're having, and they can kind of communicate information back to the dorm and stuff. And I call them their constituents. So he does that job. He does a good job. He's pride as well, and of course the Parole Project is with him. So now his write-up history is good, and he's doing a good job.
Thank you, Warren Bickham.
Yes, sir.
Williams,
Yes, sir.
done a great job the last 4 years. It's been since 2018 since we saw you last, and you've done a great job. As one, like to say, you had a little hiccup, but drink a little water and the hiccup goes away. So I'm going to overlook the hiccup. And I know you remember the vote last time, but
Yes, sir.
my vote will be different this time. Okay,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Mr. Myers or Mr. Hunley, either, Mr. Myers, I see is here. Mr. Myers?
It's just me. Good morning.
Okay, well, don't reconvince Mr. Roche to go the other way now.
No. What you see with Mr. Williams is a mature, sincere individual who's absolutely focused on his future. He's addressed the issues of his past, and by his programming, you heard the comments of the warden. He has an excellent reentry plan. He has excellent family support. He has parole project, which will provide him the support that we do through his transition. Mr. Williams is ready. His good time date is coming up soon, but being on supervision would be a substantial opportunity for him to show that he is ready. And so we just asked this board to grant his parole today.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Appreciate your comments. Mr. Rickey Williams, Jr., son, Williams,
Yeah, I'm here.
tell us if you would, what you'd like us to know about your dad.
Today I'm in support of my dad being released. It's been 27 long years that I've had to communicate and also grow with my father being behind bars. He showed full support of me growing, as a young man. Like, I didn't want to talk to my dad behind bars, but he's been a true father from as much as he can from behind there. So when he does call, I call him and I ask for advice and everything. Well, he calls me and asks me, and I completely, I'm not good at speaking. I'm kind of nervous. Let me get it out. Basically, as a grown young man, my father's impact on my life has been, as much as he can from behind bars, has always been a true father. Whether it was telling me something that I wanted to hear or telling me something that I needed to hear, even when my other mind didn't want to hear it. But as a grown young man, sometimes those are the things that a father needs to say to his son, and he's always been there for me. As for growth as a man, I watched my father become a trustee, get all these certificates while he was behind bars, and to be able to accomplish those things and be under the stress that he's not able to see his family, it's a lot. And to see that, to hear these people talk so good about my father, it's really good. And for his release to be granted, it would be very much a grace for me and my family. Support wise, he has us 100%. I know my aunt would help, my grandfather. Me as a son, I would be there. He just needs someone to talk to about how the world is kind of moving a little fast. It's different out here. And me being a young man, I grew up in this world. I can give him some advice about that. And also to be able to have those face-to-face father-son talks, I've been waiting for my whole life. So, it's a lot. And I'm just here in full support. I'm sorry that I'm not saying it in a great speech. That's all I really can say is, as a son, I've been waiting for this for 27 years. I have a son now myself. So it's I'm able to feel how my father, he wasn't able to see me go to school and everything. So, I just want my father home. I'm sorry, I can't give a speech about it. I just want my father home, and I think he's worked all this time for it. He deserves to come home.
Mr. Williams, thank you very much for your comments. You did an excellent job, so thank you very much. Now we'll hear from Catherine Bryce, who is Mr. Williams' sister, Mr. Williams Senior's sister. Ms. Bryce?
Okay, my name is Catherine Bryce, and I'm here in support of my brother, Rickey Williams Sr. And I have seen positive change in Rickey over the years. He has been consistently working on himself, not only on himself, but for the community as well. He is now working, making crafts, and has better outlook on his life. And upon his release, my family and I plan to be there for Rickey financially, emotional, spiritual. We will help provide for him as far as groceries, transportation, and other necessities. We will also provide transportation to any appointments or meeting that he will need to attend. I will be able to help him find work because of my flexible work schedule. I will make sure he gets to work. I will encourage him to attend church with me as I have family with me and my family. We always start a family weekly prayer to help him to stay focused on his release. And since the absence of Rickey, it's very important that we build a stronger relationship and a new relationship with the family that he has yet to meet. Upon release, we plan to reintroduce him back into our community, help him adjust to the outside of the correctional facility, help him become a positive role model in the neighborhood, and create positive memories with the family and friends that he has not met. And this is something that is real special to the whole family today because we lost our mother in 2007, and today is our mother's birthday. And so it's real special to me, and I'm getting emotional about this because today is our mother's birthday. And Rickey was not able to be there when our mom passed. He was not able to attend her service. And so, it's just a big thank you. If he get parole and released out, it will be very much pleasing to the whole family.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rice. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Lancaster, I don't see Mr. Lancaster there. Ms. Smith.
I'm off to the side, Mr. Marabella, but I'm
okay.
here.
I don't see you hiding back there. Okay.
But Ms. Smith worked and prepared Mr. Williams for the hearing today. She prepared the packet that was submitted before the parole committee, and she's well prepared to give a closing statement to the committee if you deem it appropriate.
Terrific. Well, we'll have Mr. Williams say any words he'd like to say, and then we'll turn it over to Ms. Smith. Mr. Williams, if you would, anything you'd like to say before we turn it over to Ms. Smith?
Yes, sir. Just a couple of things. First and foremost, to Warden Bickham, because he's my overseer, to the committee. I send my deepest regrets to the family that I hurt, because I never can apologize to them personally, but I apologize that I hurt them people. I apologize for all the wrong that I've caused. I apologize for the hurt that I've caused my family. And I ask the board if they just see fit to just look at me as a different person than I was. I was troubled. I wasn't troubled. I was troubled. And I had to learn from that. And as I look back and see how terrible I was, I deserved everything that the judge gave me. Everything. But I've changed. I'm a different man. And if given a chance, I'm gonna be the better man than I can be if given the chance. I thank y'all for hearing me today. I thank you for just giving me the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Wigg. Appreciate your comments. Ms. Smith, if you'll introduce yourself for the record and tell us what you'd like us to know.
May it please this honorable committee, my name is Simone Smith, and today I'm with my supervisor, Robert Lancaster, and we are affiliated with the LSU Law School Parole and Reentry Clinic. I am representing Rickey Williams, and I've prepared a few statements in support of Rickey, but he is his own best advocate, as you can hear, and he has just taken full accountability and has so much remorse for his crime, as you can tell by his own words. He has fully changed himself, not only in the first few years of his incarceration, but also since his last parole hearing. He has participated in living in balance and in pride, and has gained the support and the respect of all of his security officers and fellow offenders. We were sitting out there just a few minutes ago, and he was encouraging everyone that was coming out of this room. And it's just truly inspiring to see a man like Rickey come from such a dark place to who he is today. So we ask this honorable committee to grant his early release on parole with any conditions you may deem appropriate for his success. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Very good job. Well done. Is the panel ready to vote? Mr. Roche, did Mr. Myers change your mind?
I don't think we could have changed my mind on this. Mr. Williams, having sat on your last panel 4 years ago, it puts a great joy in my heart to see where you are today. You've come a long ways in the last 4 years. And hopefully those 4 years will serve you well, because we not only want to release you, we want for you to stay released. So based upon a good transition plan with the Louisiana Parole Project, and then with your brother in Arkansas, good family support, positive remarks from Warden Bickham. I think that's as positive as I've seen Warden Bickham in his comments. My vote is to grant you to an interstate compact to the state of Arkansas after you complete your initial transition with the Louisiana Parole Project. Then, after release, I want you to attend at least 3 NAAA meetings a week. You can attend more if you like, but at least 3. I want you to do community service with at-risk youth. The statement said that you were in a bad place and you deserve everything that the judge gave you. I want you to tell the at-risk youth about your experience and lead them in the right direction. Our youth today is getting in so much trouble, and law enforcement can't tell them anything, but a former offender who had been in the same place can convince them to do what you can't convince them to do. You agree with me on that?
Yes, sir.
And I also want you to have a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. unless the parole officer sees that a better situation for you would be another curfew, since you're going to be a commercial truck driver. Good luck, young man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Quinn?
Mr. Williams, you've done excellent since the last hearing. And due to the warden's comments and what you've undertaken the past 4 years, I also vote to grant with the conditions that Mr. Roche stated.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Williams, you have 2 votes to grant your parole. You've done an outstanding job since you were here last. Great comments by the warden. And as your sister pointed out, your mother's looking over you today. This is her special day. So your parole has been granted with the conditions as outlined by Mr. Roche. So good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Felt like we needed a happy hearing, huh? I thought his son spoke really well. Really well. A lot of props. Pretty amazing that you can maintain that kind of father-son relationship locked away for 27 years. I get that he was an habitual offender and he had done a lot of armed robberies and purse snatching, but again, I get pretty riled up when you get these 30-year sentences for theft and things like that. And then these destroyers of lives, and everyone gets like 8 years and 5 years and 10 years, and they serve like 50% of it. He served 27 years of a 30-year sentence. Wow. I wasn't in trouble. I was trouble. I mean, today he doesn't seem resentful at all. He doesn't seem bitter. He seems at the end of his tunnel, ready for freedom, and he is set up to succeed, having the parole project and getting to move to another state and family support. And gosh, I don't think we're gonna see him back here, but just imagine spending that much of your life locked up. It is amazing to see that what he still has waiting for him on the outside, and how yeah, but it's gonna be shocking. Wow. I've said this over and over again like a broken record, but just to think he is not going to recognize the world that he left. It's going to be a different universe. When he left, there were payphones. $1 used to get you something. Cars used to have V8 engines. Things were very different 27 years ago. I'm happy to see this. Imagine I could just see, I've seen Mr. Roche, because you can argue, could he not have gotten out, was it 4 years ago? His last parole hearing. Mr. Roche, he can be tough though. He can reject when others would not. And I think that was the case last time, but I love this warden too. Really does care. I don't have details of how heinous his crime was that his victims are still opposed to him getting out 27 years later. But they didn't show up to this hearing. I don't have much to say on it. Except that I was moved by what his son said. That was very special. And with that, I'll let you go.